Okay.
Hi. Holy moly. Heck of a time to lose your internet signal. We tested. We pre-tested.
Yes. First, I just want to say something to Julia. Julia, I have never had a problem getting a cork out of a bottle of wine in my life. She thought that was our technical problem.
I have missed all of these comments. I'm going to have to go back and watch them. I am so sorry. We tested.
Whoops.
I'm thinking, who's in my head now talking?
My iPad went because I was trying to type in that you were still having issues, and so that it wasn't turned off. Anyways, we're here. Just breathe. Just breathe.
This is what happens when you live in Courtright. It's a small town. The internet was working fine. We tested it. Everything was good.
It was perfect.
And then we said, okay, we'll reconvene in 20 minutes. And I said, we'll reset the connection so everything is fresh. Anyways,
okay. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Glad that you're all chatting to each other until we got here. That's awesome. So, okay. So one comment that Sarah had made back a while ago was, how do you know where to put your heel when you're doing an afterthought heel? Okay, when it's called an afterthought heel, Sarah, you're putting it in after. When we do it, I actually call it a forethought heel, a forethought after heel. You do it after, but you think about it before, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then you could call it an after forethought heel or a forethought after heel. Because both of us usually mark it while we're doing it. So if I'm going top down, you can just kind of mark where you're going to start your heel. And then anything from where you mark that heel, you're going to measure from there to your start of your toe. Correct? If you're going the other way, I find it harder because I haven't done the other way as much. I find it harder doing a toe up and figuring out where to put the afterthought heel.
Okay, I was wondering if we should just say that we're Kelly and Noelle of Knits and Pieces podcast.
Sorry.
This is our Tuesday night knit chat. And
I think I need a glass of wine.
Welcome to our tiny little corner of the knitting internet. And we're so happy that you're here. All of you. There's lots of you here tonight. We're so happy that you're here. Yes. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for waiting for us.
It's not a regular podcast. This is just a knit chat. So in a regular podcast, we would hope that it wouldn't be 10 minutes of nothing to start.
No, in a regular podcast, we could record this and then I will edit it and it comes to you. Hopefully issue free is the idea. But anyway, if somebody could just confirm if our sound is okay before we carry on. And I'm going to turn Noelle up in my head a little bit here. There we go.
That's something you don't hear too often.
What's really cool, what's the best part of having Noelle in my head is when I'm sick of her, I can just shut her off.
Well, when we test, and so that I know that my headphones are always working, I'm always going, Ross, can you hear Kelly? And he's going, no, thank goodness.
I know. He secretly loves me. I'm sure of it.
He does.
So. Anyway, he misses me. I know that. He must miss me.
He does miss you.
Drinking all his wine.
Well,
so.
No, you drink my wine because he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink bread. You can have as much of my wine as you want.
Okay, so I'm trying to catch up now on comments. Yes, Julia, you're right. We're knitters, not IT. That's or right. Knitters.
We are knit people, not it people. But you know what? I actually do have a degree in information technology.
Do you really?
I really do. But
okay,
that's from 11 years ago. It's obsolete.
Here's the thing. I'm going to now admit that I never knew what IT stood for.
So basically, if you get a degree, and I like a degree in just basic information technology, by the time you finish that degree, everything you learned is obsolete.
Probably.
So
we just need, maybe we could say we're hiring. We're hiring an IT person. The pay is great. We'll feed you in socks and sweaters and homemade cookies.
But you can't do anything about your internet going out.
That's the strangest thing. And I just upgraded. This is supposed to be this amazing internet. So I don't know how to do it any better. But anyway, we're here now. Enough of that. Enough.
Okay.
Bad vibes out the window.
Okay, let's go back to the heel.
The heel. Yes. So
an after forethought heel, or a forethought after.
No, a forethought afterthought heel.
After heel. Well, no, you don't think about it after. You already know where you're going to put it. So it's just the heel that you do after, but you already thought about where you're going to put it.
Yes, was she maybe asking how you know where to put it if you're doing toe up?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she specified toe up or toe down, or top down, cuff down. This is gonna be a bad night. I can tell.
It's gonna be one of those nights. We haven't even got knitting in our hands. This is terrible.
All right. Here.
Okay. Oops. I was running through the kitchen and I grabbed I grabbed my Shirley Bryan sock again. One of these days, this is going to be a pair. I promise. I truly promise. I don't know what happened here. How is everybody else doing this week?
Sarah does top down.
Okay, so the afterthought heel, you can go either way though, right? And
yes, if you're going top down though, it doesn't matter where you, because
here's what I would recommend. The first time you do a forethought afterthought heel, do it cuff down, because then you can decide to put that heel any dang place you want to put it. All right. And then, so this is going to be your template sock if you're a first time forethought afterthought knitter. So once you put your heel in, then you will continue. So you could draw your line or put in your
lifeline.
Your lifeline threads. Yeah. Oh gosh, I can't talk either. This is really bad. So here's what I would suggest for the very first time. Put that in, knit down on your sock a little bit. And then before you finish off your sock, go back and do that heel. This is just for your first time ever. Yeah. Okay. Put the heel in, then go back and you can try the sock on, because the beauty of obviously doing top down is you can slide your foot in and you'll have your naked toes wiggling out the top. You will know then exactly where to stop that. So once you have your one template done, mark that measurement down. Okay. Whatever. This is not an afterthought heel. I'm using a really poor example here, but these are what I have in my hand. So then you'll have your heel in place and you'll be able to take a measure of what it is from that heel to where you started for your toe. And that's going to be your measurement moving forward. Okay. So once you know that, and then you can go on and complete your next sock. Then if you want to do a toe up, you're going to get to the toe and then you'll know I need to knit however many inches before I put in that lifeline for my heel. Okay. So that's how you will know moving forward. Mine,
Sarah, I count rows too. I know you. Do you count rows?
No, I count inches.
You don't? Okay, I count rows because but I also know that when I do different, like for either my sons who are taller, I kind of have a set amount, but judging the yarn, because some yarns are thicker or thinner than others, right. I will either increase a couple of rows or decrease a couple of rows, just depending on how that yarn's working up.
Right. And that's why I count inches instead of rows, because then I don't have to account for a yarn difference. So I know, like for instance, so I have a size 8.5 lady's foot. So for me, I know that that distance between where that heel ends to where the toe starts for me is about 5.5, sometimes 5 3/4 inches. That's what I know for my particular measurement. But you will need to do that the first time for yourself. And then once you have that measurement, or count the rows, if you want to use Noelle's method, then you're good to go. You're golden.
Sarah says, I thought the afterthought heel needed fewer rows to the toe than the heel flap and gusset. The heel flap and gusset does have more rows if you count all those rows that are in that gusset, right? Because that heel flap, if you kind of bend that heel flap over, then that heel flap is not the distance of what your heel would be if you're doing an afterthought heel, because you've got to take into consideration all those stitches that you decreased in the gusset.
That's right.
So that's why it is less rows, Sarah. That's why it's probably better to do what Kelly said and do your first sock. And once you've kind of got past where you're going to put the heel in, once you've got enough knit, put your heel in and then you can try it on. And Tracy had also mentioned to make sure that you have some negative ease, and that's true too. And I think that that's a good point with trying it on, because you're going to kind of stretch it to feel the way you want it to feel on your foot.
Yes.
That way you'll have a better idea of where you're going to start that toe. And from there, you can go back and measure or count rows or continue doing it the way, like once you've kind of got that initial measurement.
Right. And because it's, as you say, a lot of people like their socks to fit differently. I like a nice snug fitting sock that, stays put in my shoes. Some people like their socks a little bit on the looser side. So you have to determine what your perfect fit is. Right. And then go from there. And Mary uses a sock ruler, and I have one of those too. I keep meaning to show that. I don't know if everybody has that. I bought it from an Etsy shop. You don't have, I like it. It's, I don't have it down here with me, so I'm not going to show it tonight. Maybe I'll bring it down for next week, because I keep it upstairs where I knit, and it's it just fits right in the sock, so you can measure. Mm-hmm. So it's I find it more useful, obviously, if I'm doing a toe up, because then I can put it in and measure it really nicely.
Can you put it in top down? Not really.
No, not really. It's more for toe up.
Toe up, yeah. Yep.
I guess you could sort of lay the sock, because it has all of it isn't just like, okay, so it's a nice long flat piece of wood. So it's really sturdy. Whereas sometimes, if you're using a measuring tape, it's kind of flimsy and it doesn't sit on the sock, or you may feel like you're kind of pulling the sock.
Right.
But if you have that sturdy platform of wood, you can actually really nicely lay the sock down.
Right. So, but it's kind of rounded at the end, right? So it basically
it's rounded just like a toe.
For, for doing a toe up sock. So, but anyway. Okay, Sarah, let us know how you make out, how it works.
Okay.
Okay, so Sarah said she was counting from the edge of the flap. Yeah, so then you are going to have, that's going to be more stitches if you're doing the heel flap and gusset. You're doing so you're counting from the flap as opposed to the end of the decreases.
Right.
Yes.
And Michelle is mentioning a tutorial, the Winwick Mum tutorial. And she said there's no holes. And I have a tutorial too. My tutorial is the method that Noelle taught me. So I don't want to call it Noelle's method, but it kind of is Noelle's method. And so there's a little trick in there for how to avoid holes at the corner of your heel as well. So that's on my Tangled the Tangled Stitch channel on YouTube. You can find that. Okay.
And we always do ours where you cut, right? Because there's two methods of doing it. You can also put in that waist yarn, like where you knit back and forth.
Yes.
But that one, I find I have more trouble not having holes at the side.
The gap on the corner. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I find it easier to actually cut the knitting.
Okay.
So, and Sandy said she really likes the sock ruler and she uses it both ways, cuff down and toe up.
Okay.
Oh,
it is a pretty good tool.
I hope you're feeling better. She said she's had a bad day, so she's off to read and rest. I hope you're feeling better. And other people, I need to get a sock ruler too, Linda. Apparently, it would actually be nice because I could kind of mark all my kids' sizes, although nobody's complained so far. So, and I think that's the joy of it too, because your finished sock does have a certain amount of stretch in it. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, you can be off one or two rows and it should still be okay.
Yeah. So, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So, we made it through that lesson.
So, yes, I just actually did an Afterthought heel the other day because I actually hadn't done one for quite a while because I was kind of liking the heel flap and gusset and the short row heel, just because then when I'm done the sock, I'm done the sock. Mm-hmm. So that's actually nice, if you're doing it and putting it in, if you stop, put it in and then finish. And then when you're done, you're done.
You're done. Yeah.
So, and that's what I actually did with this one because I was doing a slip. Well, it's this sock here and I'm doing a slip stitch pattern. So just in case that pulled it in a lot, because it kind of bunches it up like a little bit like this, right? Because I'm doing 2 rows where you're actually slip the stitch and then the next row is just knit. So it's kind of pulling the row up a bit, but it really makes the slip stitch stand out. Mm-hmm. So I was worried that it might not be enough rows in my foot because of that. So I did stop after I'd gotten past where I was going to put the heel in. I did put the heel in just so I could measure properly. So.
Valerie says she has everyone's sizes marked on her ruler too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Valerie, do you have Chip's sizes marked on? Was it Chip? Chip and Aaron's sizes marked on that sock ruler too? That's what I want to know.
Oh. So Mary says hers is podcast. Oh, did they? Mary said that hers is from Burning Impressions, and it has all socks, child sizes. That's where I have more trouble, is trying to judge the size to do for the little ones, because their feet grow so fast that it's hard to know exactly. So, okay.
I have something that I was going to show on the podcast, and I'm still going to show it on the podcast, which we're filming, I think, tomorrow. But it's socks, but I'm not going to wait until tomorrow because I want to say it in front of a crowd of people. So I knit some socks too. Is anybody noticing how small they are? These are gender neutral socks, and I am going to be a grandma for a first time of a 2-legged grandbaby, not a 4-legged grandpuppy. And I cannot contain the excitement. I have known about this for a few months, and I am over the moon excited. This is our first grandchild. So my wahoo, Valerie says, it's my daughter Kendall in BC. That's the only sad part, is that she's so far away, but we're blessed and we're excited, and I can't wait to knit all the things, and I can't wait to sew all the things. And I'm so happy to finally be able to share that with you tonight. I'm going to it was going to be on the podcast tomorrow, but I said to Kendall, I can't wait. I can't wait for the podcast. I just want to tell. I finally got the green light where I can tell, because she said it's getting painfully obvious that she's not just gaining a little weight around the midsection. She's actually growing. So that's why I wore the Irish Love t-shirt tonight. We're adding to our little French-Irish clan, and we couldn't be happier. So that's awesome. Get ready for
okay, I already knew.
Noelle already knew. That's why she's not acting so.
That's why I'm not jumping up and down.
My daughter said I was allowed to tell no one, so I immediately told Noelle, because I figured, she's outside, right? Like outside of my family. Like I couldn't tell, grandparents and everything yet, but everyone knows now. So now all of you know, and thank you for the congratulations. We're pretty darn happy about it. So prepare yourselves for the parade of baby knits now.
Yep. Anyway, I know, it's awesome. You'll love it. It's like,
I can't wait.
It is. I loved having my own kids, but it's so nice to just spend time with them, and then when they get cranky, just go, here you go. Grandma's got to go.
Yeah.
I don't do that. My grandchildren are perfect. They don't cry.
No, they don't cry. But I seriously thought for the longest time I may be destined to only ever have 4-legged grandpuppies and never grandchildren. But anyway, love baby knits. Oh, yes. I get to knit all the tiny things, Sarah.
I know. And then
obsessed with looking at the tiny things.
They knit up so much faster.
Well, I don't know. These little socks did not knit up as quick as I would have thought.
Those are cute.
They are cute, and they're gender neutral, right? They'll work.
Yep.
He, my son-in-law, he doesn't want to know the gender. Me and my daughter, type A people, we want to know. So Derek has struck a compromise, and he has said that he's perfectly fine if Mike and I find out the gender of our grandchild, so that I can make the things I want to make. But then I backed off, because now I'm just feeling too much pressure, because my daughter can read me so well that I just know that if there was a conversation, it would just be a look in my eye that she'd be able to pull it out, and then I would be blamed forever for being the person who couldn't keep a secret. So
I did know what my grandchildren were going to be, but if I had have known and they didn't know, there's no way you can talk about it and have a conversation and not slip up.
Right. I know. And she would try to slip me up too. I know she would. So we may have to just pass on that until, but
yeah, you can always knit off-white and gray and aqua. Like there are still a lot of pretty colors that.
There really is. There's a lot of nice colors.
And then anything like that can always be passed down to future babies, regardless of what gender they are.
Mm-hmm.
So
baby surprise jacket is so cute. Oh, I know which one that is. And
I know I've knit that one, but not for my babies. I forgot about that one.
I was talking about baby things last night with Kendall because we talk about a lot of baby things now. But anyway, we were talking about baby things, and I still have a box of each of my children's baby clothes and just like the certain keepsake things that you want to keep. So I'm going to pull the box out this weekend. Maybe she said we would go through it. It'd be fun to go through because I still have, like, I was knitting when they were babies. So I have her little, remember we used to knit like a coming home from the hospital set. So I had her little, her bonnet and her little sweater. It was peach because she was a cute little peach. And so I have some of those items. So I want to dig those out and kind of have a look at them. But then today, KnitPicks sent an email to me. Well, I'm sure they sent an email to a lot of people, not just me. They sent an email and they're having a 15% site-wide sale. So
Kelly, don't tell me these things.
I got thinking, you know how much I loved the Dishy Twist, which is really soft. And I thought, oh, that'd be really nice. Maybe I should grab some gender neutral colors and knit up just some cloths for her to have for bathing and things like that. Cause they were so soft. And so there's that. So that was just step one. I thought about that. I haven't ordered it yet, but I'm going to. I'm placing an order. 15% off is a big deal, especially right now when our Canadian dollar is not looking so shabby anymore.
Yep.
So what else do we have for comments? Baby Sheep Hat by Melissa Hurt. You know what else I have made? Because I've had some other babies in my life. And is it Tabitha Gandy's Perfect Newborn Socks?
Yeah.
These are not them. These are just some cute little socks. But her sock pattern was really cute. And I had made some for a friend of mine in the little work sock yarn, not the Leo and Roxy.
Yep.
But I have future plans for that, which I probably can't talk about on here because somebody may be listening, but Noelle knows what they are.
Yep. So. But I made the work sock ones for my granddaughters, and for the babies ones, like they were little, I just did them where you did the 2x2 in the cuff and folded it over and then did the ruffle around the bottom of the cuff. So they have that little ruffle around that. Well, obviously
that's not gender neutral.
No, I know, but I'm just saying you can still knit after the baby's born too, Kelly.
Oh, I got a lifetime in knitting now. That's a whole new person to knit for.
But anyway, yeah, so they were cute. And I found that any of the socks that had the 2x2 rib actually stay on them better.
Yes, and that's what these are.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
nice and stretchy.
And if you do the cuff long enough, they can wear it turned down first, or all the way up, or turned down.
Yes.
So
yes. Leo and Roxy, was it this week or maybe it was the end of last week? One of their posts, they had a baby mannequin and they had the work sock items on it. So they had the flax sweater, which I believe you knit, Noelle, right?
I knit that outfit that baby was wearing.
Oh, the whole outfit. I knew you knit the sweater. Outfit. I didn't know if you knit everything else. Okay.
Yeah.
So go on to the Leo and Roxy site if you're not already. I'm sure lots of people are because they have that, but that work sock yarn, or what is it actually called?
Work sock. It's work sock, but it's I think it's basically kind of the same base as their new basics line. It's like that soft merino.
Well, it would pair
25, I think.
It would pair really well with any of those colors too.
Yes. Yep.
But it was this super cute baby mannequin wearing this entire outfit that Noelle knit. It was so
And it was
cute.
one sock set that comes with 100-gram skein of the marled, and I think there's a 30-gram skein of the cream, and then a 10-gram skein of the contrast color, and it knit everything: the sweater,
and you get
the hat, and the socks.
So it was
with
like
one skein.
Huge.
So it'd make a super cute baby gift.
Yeah, it would.
So
it would. So
anyway,
that's that. A basket of goodies is great for baby, and don't forget mom. Oh, don't worry, Karen. Mom gets pretty spoiled too. I'm always spoiling her. She's my baby girl. And Kathy has her first great grandbaby coming next month. Oh, you made him a quilt. I'm going to be making a quilt too, Kathy, and I already have plans for the quilt. It'll be the first of more than one quilt, but I have plans for the first quilt, and I have a really nice label in mind for it. So yes, I've been planning for a while.
Oh yeah, Froginette's patterns are good. I like her patterns. There are lots of patterns too that you can get, like all of Tin Can Knits patterns that go from baby right up to, so you can do like matching sweaters for the whole family.
Yeah. I could.
Or you could do matching grandma and baby sweaters.
There we go. That would be a good look. Yeah. Karen likes to knit baby blankets. I have yarn for that too, Karen. Yes, I do. So anyway, so we've got lots of baby things in our future. We're hoping to go out there in July. Fingers crossed. Hoping to get out there in July and help them get the nursery done and all those things. I want to see her once during this pregnancy. Like we will go again at the end of October when the baby's due, but I definitely want to see her in person with that, with that mom tummy. Have to see that.
Yeah. So. And you don't want her to fly.
No, absolutely not. So. No. Yeah, I'll tell you, this is a big year for the O'Connor family. We've got that. We have a wedding coming up. My son is getting married this summer. It's a big year. Our little family is growing. Little family is growing.
We have a wedding this year and a wedding next year, and then that's everybody married. So actually, I was talking to Rachel the other day, and it was funny because I can remember when I was in the hospital when I had my daughter, Jacqueline, and she's the first. And at that time, you stayed in the hospital for 4 or 5 days after you had the baby. Mm-hmm. So the woman that was in the bed next to me, I was in a semi-private room. She was having her 5th child, and her first was a girl, and then she had 4 boys. And all I thought was, oh, that poor woman. And then guess what? I had a girl first, and then 4 boys. That was like deja vu or premonition. But
well, anyway. It's so I've shared this before, but my daughter was actually born on my 25th birthday, and my mother had gifted me a little diary that she had when she had the diary when she was pregnant for me a little bit. I think she got it in January. So we're born March 12th. So she kept the diary for a few months before the delivery. And then for the year and a little bit, it was one of these, lots of you will know what I'm talking about, but it was the tiny little diary, and it had 5-year, like a 5-year diary to keep 5 things in. So she kept this diary for about 1.5 years after I was born. And then when I was pregnant and she knew that the due date was going to be pretty close to when I was born, she thought, oh, I wonder if Kelly would like to have this diary. And then she could just kind of read along what she was doing when she was pregnant and what happened, all of my little steps when I was that age. So she gave me the diary. When I had my daughter, Kendall, on March 12th, I started filling in the diary too. So then I kept the diary up for about 1 year. So you could see what I was doing at, 3 months and what Kendall was doing on the same day when she was 3 months. So for Mother's Day this year, I actually gave Kendall the diary, and she loved it. And my mom was so happy that I gave it to her. So obviously, her baby's not going to be born on the same day as she and I, but she'll be able to go through, and there's still about 1 year left in there if she wants to keep notes. So she'll be able to write down and see what she and I were doing on that day and what her baby. So like 3 generations. It should end up in a museum someday.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. Anyway. So what are you knitting on this week, Noelle?
I decided to cast on some new sweaters because why would I finish the ones that I already started? Since last week, I cast on 2 new sweaters.
You just said that like a confessional. Since my last confession, I've cast on 2 sweaters.
2 new sweaters, yep. So,
oh dear.
So one of them is the Felix cardigan.
Oh, I like that one.
Amy Christophers.
Yes.
And then the other one is the Yell by Marie Wallen. So.
And the Marie Wallen will be all over color work again, right? I'm assuming. Yes.
Yep. Yep. There, Susan says new sweaters are the next best thing after new babies. I'd rather have a new baby. but I can't cast those on. So.
Nope.
Oh, Linda says she wants to make the Felix. I should just grab it here and show you.
That comes in a cardigan as well as a pullover, does it not? Isn't there 2 versions of that pattern?
Yes. So I'm doing the cardigan. So here's, so you can see the.
Yeah, I love that. Just that little bit of such a subtle detail, but it's a really nice detail.
Yep. So I'm doing it in this mohair, and of course the other one I can't grab. Anyways, the other one is like a silk cotton linen blend. So it's going to be a really nice summer cardigan. So I'm at all I got to do is cast off I'm doing a tubular bind off for the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll have the sleeves and the finishing to do, which is where my other 2 sweaters are at this point, needing sleeves. And so apparently I'm not on Sleeve Island. I'm on Archipelago Island.
Cast on.
No, I'm on is it Archipelago? A whole bunch of islands? Archipelago Island. No, Sleeve Archipelago instead of Sleeve Island.
I got my yarn.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So Tracy, I think Tracy's still on here. We both ordered yarn from the Wool Warehouse for some summer cotton yarns, and I'm pretty sure. So Lynn and I ordered it together, and I think she counted it today, and it was 10 days. 10 days delivery.
Good. That's really good.
I've
waited longer from Canada.
I know.
From Ontario.
I know, right? So I was really absolutely thrilled to get that, and I can't wait. I have a couple of sweaters that I wanted to make with that, and it's really nice. It's soft.
What was it, Kelly?
It's the Drops.
I know it's
Bell.
Drops.
Bell.
Oh, Bell. Okay. I'm just going to grab that one yarn because I can't remember the name of it.
Yes, Diane. She just cast that on this week. She's very fast, you know. She doesn't eat or sleep either. She just knits 24 hours a day.
I do eat and sleep and exercise.
Tracy's swatching.
I exercise like this. Yeah. What did Tracy say? That I don't swatch?
No. She's swatching right now for her sweaters. I'm going to have to swatch too, Tracy, because I'm not, it's a new yarn to me, and it's a DK. The Bell is a DK, but it almost looks like it could be a lighter DK. So I'm definitely going to want to make sure about that before I cast on a sweater. Okay. So there's the yarn that's, I remember that. I remember that.
This mohair. So this is Diamond Luxury Summertime Light, and it is acrylic, cotton, linen, and polyester. But like just in this, and I actually did swatch for this because with the 2 yarns held together, I didn't know what it was going to be like. And I wanted to see what the fabric was like. So I actually went down a needle size from what the pattern recommended, but then I went up a sweater size. So yeah, it feels like it's going to be a really nice summer cardi. So is that what Tracy is swatching right now? Is the Bell?
No, she did, but she got a different one. I think she got the Bommel.
Oh, okay.
Bommel Lin. I'm not sure.
The one with cotton and linen in it.
Yes. Well, the Bell has cotton and linen as well.
Oh, okay. I thought the Bell was just cotton. No.
No.
It's got both. Okay. And the Felix cardigan is it is a loose gauge. So it's not like it's tons of knitting.
No, it's quicker.
Yeah. So, but then after that, I cast on the Marie Wallen one, and now everything else has kind of got put by the side, because the Marie Wallen one, I'm just doing it with yarn that I had in my stash. It's a whole bunch of different colors of Holst yarn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's quite a few colors in the sweater. So I just pulled a whole bunch of colors together that I liked, and then just started knitting and decided as I went along what color was going to go where. So we'll see how that turns out.
It looks great.
So I did have to rip back a little, and that trick about when you're doing color work, to take your picture and look at it in black and white, I should have done that with 2 of the colors, because they looked like when I held them together that there should have been good contrast.
Mm-hmm.
But I got 4 rows done in it, and I thought, I kept looking at it and think, no, it's okay. And I thought, no, I can't. I have to take it out. So then I took a picture with it after I ripped it out, and I thought, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I should have took that picture before. So anyway, so I put colors together now that are in the same together. And if I really want it to stand out, I will do that and look at it in a black and white photo.
Mm-hmm.
So,
it's amazing how that works.
Yeah,
I think we were talking about that on the Ravelry group, right? With Sarah?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It works surprisingly well. What's everybody else working on this week too?
Kathy said she would like to do a Marie Wallen, but I would have to buy a kit because I wouldn't trust myself to put together. She wouldn't trust herself to put together the colors. The one I just finished, I didn't put those colors together. That was a kit. And this one, I was going to order a kit, but then I would have had to wait for it. So I thought I'll just go see what I have. And I mean, I like knitting color work, so I just figured it'll be okay. It'll be someone will like it if I don't. So, and I just thought it would be fun to kind of do that. So,
Lena's off to bed.
Okay, good night, Lena.
Thanks for joining.
Oh, Sarah, I love that back tee. Pardon me.
I said that's handy. Going to an online knit group, you can't just say goodnight to the knit group and crawl into bed when you're at a coffee shop.
Well, no, that's true. Well, you could, I guess. You can. I don't know.
Julia finished her, is it Maja or Maya colorwork cardigan for a palette cleanser, the spring thing. Oh, a one skein wonder by Espace Tricot.
Okay, I think that's the spring thing is like a little shawl. I think I remember what that pattern looked like, because I should really do another shawl. I gave my mom a shawl.
Was looking a little thin last time we saw it.
I gave my mom a shawl for Mother's Day, so now I only have 90.
Oh dear. Well, you better hurry and knit one to replace that.
Anyway, Linda said she's doing the Stephen West Speckle and Pop. A lot of Stephen West shawls are like, I like the look of them, but it's like, for me, I find it's too much shawl. It's too big.
Well, it is for you.
So, but I really like the Speckle and Pop. I guess I could probably work them out where you could kind of cut them down a little bit.
I don't know.
But a lot of them are a lot of skeins of yarn.
Yeah.
So like,
a lot of them are like four or five skeins of yarn. And I mean, that's a full-size blanket for you.
A 3 skein one is pretty big.
It's sometimes, I find that for myself. I mean, it's nice to have that, but it's not something you can wear all the time. It has definitely specific purposes.
Yeah.
So the Midori pullover, is that by you knit? Is that the pattern, Gwen? I think that's one of the sweater patterns from Unit. I was actually looking at that one earlier, and I think they use a Harrisville yarn, I think, for that one. It's really nice. They used that new Harrisville yarn that was like the whites. Because they had the dark line nightshades. Yes. And then I think this line has something to do with lighter. Yeah, it's really, really a pretty sweater though. Yeah. Tiffany's working on vanilla socks. Diane's doing the Waiting for Rain. I think that was one by Sylvia. Yes. McFadden. Is that her name? She's in BC. I know that, right?
I know her first name's Sylvia, but I can't think of her second name.
That was such a popular shawl. I've always really liked it.
It was beautiful. Yep. Deborah, the Marie Wallen one that I'm doing right now is called the Yell cardigan. And the one I just finished was Primrose. So,
Sarah says, Stephen West did invent
the schlank it.
Those are great for traveling with, though.
Yes, they are. Yep. Mary says her socks.
We always start to read at the same time.
At the same time. I know. Mary said that her socks on the plane are cuffed down are going really good. I've only ever done them cuffed down, so that's good. I'm glad you like it. I like that pattern. It just gives your sock a little something extra. Oh, Heather bought some Mayak. I know. And she's doing an Andrea Mowry shawl. Linda's doing Rose City Rollers. I think I've done those once.
Oh, I bought a new pattern this week. Has anybody else? Oh gosh, I can't think of the name. They just came out. Summerly Little Boxes sock. Is that?
I don't remember them.
I just it's a colorwork sock, and I don't even have another device down here to look it up for you, but I think it's called the Little Boxes socks, and it's a shorty sock pattern. And it's color work, but you have 3 colors. So there's the color inside the box, and there's a little solid color to outline the boxes. And then she uses a contrast for the cuff, heel and toe. And I thought they just looked really fun. So I grabbed that this week, and I plan to be making those.
Yeah, I'm just going to grab my other bag off my craft couch that's in front of me. Lillian just wanted to see the...
Are you going to get the Marie Wallen sweater?
Yeah. Not the one that's done, no, because it's upstairs. No. Here's all my little yarn balls. My Holst. And then on top of all this, I was on the Holst site today looking for more yarn to order. Okay, so there's the...
Oh, that's so pretty.
So that's the colors so far.
And this is the colors that you're coming up with this time, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But I think it's okay. So, I mean, the thing is, I didn't buy the colors with anything specific in mind other than I liked the colors.
But they look great together. So,
yeah, I think it'll be okay. Anyway, it's so fun knitting it. I'm addicted. So hopefully I have to take time out and finish this. I got to finish the sleeves on those other sweaters. Got to get off this sleeve archipelago thing. Finish those. I feel like I'm drowning. I'm on an island and I can't swim.
Well, wool is not a very good life raft for you. Hello, Audrey from Wisconsin, joining in tonight for a bit. And what else? Susan, the ranunculus. That's one of the sweater patterns that I was thinking of doing with my cotton yarn. Do you think I would work with that? A cotton yarn? Do you think it'd be okay?
Well, it's cotton linen, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think like you can do it in people have done it in fingering. I don't know if I would. I've done it in a fingering held with mohair.
Okay.
But just a fingering by itself might be pretty loose, but that's a fingering weight. Your cotton is
no, it's a DK. It's a DK, yes.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the Andrea shawl is a Mayak pattern, not an Andrea Mowry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I love the
colors in I have not either, but I love the colors in Mayak yarn, like the way they have that undertone of the different color of the yak. Like they've got gorgeous, like rosy colors, but they've got like that nice hint of brownish gray undertone.
Pop a picture in there for us, Heather, so we can see it. We can pop it into either the Ravelry group for KnitChat or on Instagram under our, I've got it here somewhere. Under that banner there on Instagram, and then we can see it too. Sometimes I've been sharing some of your pictures, not yours, Noelle, but you, everybody else in the knit chat. If you're posting pictures in the knit chat, I've been sharing them to my stories, and I hope you're all okay with that. They're just so pretty. I think more people need to see them. Some of the work, some of the things that you guys have been working on. So
yeah. Well, and it's like,
not send me send me a DM, and I would certainly take it out of my stories. I'm not claiming it as mine. Like I'm giving you guys the credit, but I just think it's so pretty. I like to share them.
Oh, Lillian wants to see our big yarn stashes. We don't have that much time, Lillian.
Oh gosh, Lillian.
I'm not sure how happy my husband would be filming that.
I was saying, it was funny, like just yesterday I was saying, oh my goodness, I don't even have a single ball of yarn to show on the next podcast. I bought nothing. And then the yarn showed up from Wool Warehouse. But still, that's only like 2 different colors of the same yarn. Doesn't even count as 2 yarns, does it? Same color, or like different colors, same yarn. It's not just one. What else? Oh, Donna's working on a mystery cowl from River City Yarns in Edmonton, as well as a cable sweater, a poncho, a blanket squares for Stolen Stitches Celtic Club. Oh, Donna.
Stolen Stitches. That's the yarn that we got. That's the Carol Feller yarn, the new one.
Yes. Yeah.
And Carol Feller has
we haven't knit
patterns that we haven't knit yet. No, but it's in my stash.
Yes.
I know. So then I don't feel so bad that I have all these projects on the go. I usually don't have this many sweaters at once. I usually do not.
I like to just have one sweater at a time, but I'm okay having other things with the sweater. But I do currently have 2 sweaters on the go. So. Oh, and Valerie's following the hashtag. Yes, Valerie, I know. You know what? Okay, so I was watching. I mentioned it earlier, but maybe people didn't pick up on it. So another podcast, Fiber Hustle. I love Chip and Aaron. I think they are absolute dolls. So I watched when I was downstairs working the other night, their latest podcast, and they were talking about this lovely gift that a viewer sent in, and Valerie, they said Valerie Fisher, and I'm like, yeah. Is that our Valerie? We know Valerie too. And sure enough, she had knit socks for them and they fit perfectly. How did you know their foot size? That was such a good job.
It's on her sock ruler.
It's on her sock ruler, but I don't know. Like, how do you find out random podcast foot sizes? You can do that on the internet. You can go in and what's Julia Roberts' shoe size? And it's all over the internet. Apparently, these are things that people want to know. I don't know why, but anyway. But anyway, they were great socks, Valerie. Lovely of you to be knitting for them, too. He was pretty happy to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Julia says, a stash is a stable. Stash acquisition beyond life expectancy. Oh,
yeah, well, that was a long time ago. I don't have to worry about achieving that.
No, but we're going to have to write the stash into a will. I bequeath my stash to... Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, see, you're okay now. You've got knitters in your family now.
I do. Lillian says she hides parts of hers. Mine used to be all over, but I've kind of got it all. Well, no, it's still kind of all over, but mostly it's all in one spot. But now I also have a spot for fleece and a spot for weaving cotton. And so when people tell you you're going to start these other hobbies, like getting a loom and doing some weaving and you were going to use up all your knitting stash, wrong. You're just going to get a new stash that's specifically for weaving. And then you go, oh, I could get that yarn because I could either weave with it or knit it. It's multi-purpose.
But I don't understand. You know what? I'm borderline envious of the knitters that can control themselves and only, like, I actually know a few people whose stash fits in a small basket and they only purchase yarn for a project, and then they make the project, and then they have, like little yarn goodie thing behind that I have. I don't know how I admire that type of restraint, because I'm not that person. Like I see something and I think, oh gosh, I would love that. I'm trying. We talked about this. I think, was it last week maybe, or I don't know. We've talked about it recently. I'm trying to be more mindful of my purchases. Like I'm trying to definitely have an idea in mind when I purchase the yarn. But goodness, there's just too much good stuff out there.
And, well, there's always new things that come out, but then I have to, but then when I sometimes go through my stash, I'm like, oh yeah, I have this, and yeah, and it's I don't have time to get to all of it, right? Like, and especially when a lot of the sweaters and stuff that I knit are fingering weight yarn, so it's not like they're sweaters that you're just going to whip through in,
right,
a day or two. So
okay,
and that's mostly what I buy is fingering weight.
Here's another question too, though, for those of us that have stashes, stables, as Julia calls them. Do you ever, though, like sometimes you'll be looking for something else and you'll think, oh, okay, so I know what's in here and I'll go into that bin and I'll look for that. But while I'm in the bin, I'm like, oh, look, oh gosh, I forgot I had that. And oh, look, I have this too. So it's almost like you can have multiple joys from the same ball of yarn because you may be happy when you buy it. But then if you forget that you have it and a year later you find it again, then I'm like even more happy. I'm like, oh, I love this yarn. I can totally think why I would have bought this, but now I don't want to make that thing. I'm going to make this thing with it. So,
well, I would say the majority of the time, unless I buy yarn for a specific purpose and start it right away, it very often becomes something different than what I originally bought it for.
Yeah, but I think that's okay too.
Oh yeah, I think that's okay.
It's really fine.
And sometimes it's like, okay, I know I need this much to make, if I buy this much, I've got a reasonable amount to do a sweater. But I don't know what sweater, so I'll.
Yeah. See, we all get to enjoy our stashes in different ways. Julia says she resembles that remark. Yeah. But it's fun. It's fun when you find something.
Yeah.
It's like, when you put your winter coat on from last year and find like a $5 in the pocket. How excited are you about finding $5 in your pocket? Right. So when I find a random stash, then I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this and I love it. And so then I get all excited about doing something.
Linda said we should be getting our yarn insured. That's probably true.
I never thought about that.
Well, it was funny because I don't know if this was on a podcast or we were just listening to it somewhere. And it was someone's husband. They were talking to their husband and they said to her husband, how much do you think like each of these skeins of yarn cost? And he goes, oh, about $1. And she goes, yep, right.
Yep, perfect. How did you guess?
Anyways, Linda has a spinning room.
It is. Stash diving is like opening Christmas presents.
Yeah,
You're right. Several times a year. It totally is. I agree with that 100%. And then how proud are you of yourself when you find something that just is like amazing together and you never intended it to be that way, but you pull these like two skeins out and you're like, oh my gosh, these go together just perfectly. And then you're like super excited because you're like you did a thing, right? And you
it's like all my holst was basically bought like to do mitts and stuff. So now that I'm doing a sweater with it and putting these colors together, it's like I would have had a harder time going in and picking out colors to do it than just taking the colors from my stash.
Yes.
And putting them together.
Yes.
So
Sarah says it's like knitting for free. It is, Sarah. It's like knitting for free. You're right. Because once you have
I'm doing this sweater off from stash, so I should be able to buy more sweater yarn.
Well, you're doing such a good job with the colors. You could be putting kits together for it, though.
But if I had to do it, then it wouldn't be fun.
True.
So, anyway.
Michelle likes to use her stash. She said it's satisfying and it justifies your purchase. It does. It really does.
Yep.
And I feel good when I go back into deep stash and I get to use something. That's like almost particularly exciting because you're thinking, see, it wasn't just useless stash. I bought this thing 10 years ago. I just knew it would come in handy for this perfect thing one day.
This yarn, I bought this yarn. This is Elan. Anybody remember Elan?
Yes.
And so how long ago was that? And this silk mohair was before silk mohair was ever a thing.
Well, okay.
Right?
The last time silk mohair was a thing was in the 70s. And I know I wasn't knitting when I was that age. I was 5 years old. So,
well, but that mohair was thicker, but this is probably 15 years ago.
Okay.
So, and it's working out perfect now, but yeah, it was like, because that would be a color I would go in and pick now still. So you just never know when you're going to use it. And I know it cost a whole lot less money then. Of course, money was worth less back then. Or wait, worth more back then.
Well, the other really cool thing to find is if you're actually like, for those of you that like to thrift at thrift stores, and then if you find some amazing yarn. I saw, I don't know where I saw it, just recently this past week though, somebody had found like 5 skeins of like a really expensive yarn at a thrift store for $3. And I'm thinking that's like $150 worth of yarn sitting right there in your hand. And yeah. Valerie says her hubby knows well how much each skein costs, but he thinks I'm crazy. I don't think we're crazy. We have superpowers, ladies.
That's right.
We can take string and 2 sticks. We can make a garment.
That's right.
That's a superpower.
Okay, this one earbud stays in fine. The other one keeps popping out of my ear.
I only have one in because.
Oh, do you?
It feels weird. I feel almost claustrophobic when they're both in, so I just keep one in.
Anyway, I do like having my stash, and I do have a daughter and a daughter-in-law now that knit. So I know it won't get thrown out. Ross won't send it to Goodwill or anything because he knows how much it costs. He'll have a garage sale and auction it off.
Sarah says that's her dream. She wants to find balls of cashmere at a thrift store. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't you just die? You're like, oh, look what I found.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. You love getting things at a thrift store.
Yeah. Okay, this one's coming out. There.
You can hear fine with just one.
Yeah, I can still hear. Yep.
Kathy says her husband has lots of tools, many of the same pliers or screwdrivers. Yarn is my tool. Well, it is. That's exactly how you look at it. I know. Like I can go out to the shop and I can open a drawer and there'll be 50 screwdrivers in there. And there's probably 10 of each different type of head, but there's a good use for all of them. But I could say the same about my needle wall. I could open a store for needles.
Yeah.
There's things that we need.
I'm trying to think if there's anything that I don't think Ross really collects stuff like that. He's really good about making stuff out of nothing. Like, I don't mean out of nothing, but I mean out of materials that we have or he's repurposed from something else. So we balance each other out because I'm not good at that.
Mary says that she hopes her family sells her yarn for the real price and not the price she lied and told them about.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mom said this was worth $2. $2. We'll take $1 for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and Donna says she kind of laughs when she puts on her $35 socks. I know when people tell you, well, you could go buy those at Walmart you couldn't buy socks like that.
No, you couldn't buy socks like that. And furthermore, you feel like $1 million when you're wearing something special.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You need to put a lamp on, Noelle. You're getting dark. The sun must have set in your yard. There we go. Well, it's better. There's some light on you anyway.
Yeah, I don't. We certainly don't have technical ability to change the light that's on me. So
no. We're lucky we made it here tonight. I'm still questioning what the heck happened, but
yeah.
Oh no, Valerie's trying to knit lace. She's trying to knit lace while she's chatting.
I stopped. I think I got 3 stitches done on this. I just put it aside.
Well, I would like to say that I hope everybody who joins us for KnitChat is certainly more productive than we are at KnitChat.
Yep. But but they'd be reading comments too. So
yeah.
Maybe it's just us, Kelly.
It's just us. So something else that people find at thrift stores, and I've never found a good one, not ever, is the crocheted Afghans. Amber, yarn hoarder, she has them all over her house and she finds them.
Oh, she didn't make all those?
She makes a lot. She makes a lot of them, but she'll always showcase one and she'll say, oh yeah, I found this at a thrift store. I'm like, I've never seen nice ones.
I have a couple of granny square Afghans done in fingering weight yarn that Ross's grandma did.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah, they're really neat because they're like, you know, a lot of them that you see are in the really heavy, like Aran or worsted weight yarn. These are done like in fingering weight yarn. And I mean, they're just wild colors, right? But then it's all trimmed with black. I'll have to bring it out on the podcast and show it.
I think I have one upstairs in my closet, just like it, that I made, except mine's not done in fingering weight. But do you remember, I'm trying to think what yarn company it was. It would have been just what was available to us because I was younger when I did this. And it was just the variegated yarns, right? There was always like multi-variegated, and they would all be kind of like the same color, but just patches of color. So I did the granny square in the variegated yarn, and then I crocheted around that. I had some really rustic, don't know where I ever got it, really rustic cream yarn. So then I did a border, and then I trimmed it all out in black. And I have that upstairs too. I always forget about it. I should bring it out and use it.
Yeah. Yep.
Valerie says charts, yes or no?
I say yes.
See, I'm quicker with the word.
No, charts all the way.
Because I can get a better pattern going in my head with the word. Like I'll make a little chant, and that's
anyway. So, yeah, I in fact, if there was a lace, a big, in fact, I do have. It's in a book that I got at Briggs and Little, and it's all Canadian stuff. And there's this one shawl, and it's absolutely gorgeous, but every row is written out, and there's not a chart. I won't do it.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, Helene said that was red heart yarn. Her first crochet pattern. Everybody's crochet pattern. We had like, such limited. We've come so far. The knitting has come so far. Like, this ain't your grandma's knitting no more, ladies. We are. I have to stop saying ladies. Everybody's welcome here. I have to quit saying that.
Yeah, lots of people like charts. Sarah said her mom likes it written out. Linda said she used to be afraid of charts, but now she's good with them. And I used to too, Linda. I used to always be, no, I don't want a chart. That was probably before I started doing a lot of lace stuff, and I wanted it written out. And now, well, especially with Knit Companion, like you put a chart in Knit Companion and.
Well, see, Kathy says that she's still learning the symbols. And see, maybe I'd be okay with charts if the symbols were consistent, but I find sometimes, most switch up the symbols, and they just say, oh, well, I want this to, like we all know what a knit is and a purl is, but then when you get, and the cables are pretty consistent, but then there's, I've seen some other symbols that to me, they don't mean what I've seen in another pattern, right? So,
but I still in Knit Companion, you can put your chart in there, and underneath you can put your key so that it's right there to look at it. I just find it's easier. Because I can actually look at the chart while I'm doing it.
Yes. Mary wants to know if there's a yearly subscription for Knit Companion. There is. Well, there is and there isn't. So they do have a free version. And I used the free version probably for a couple of years before I ever paid for there is an annual subscription. What's the subscription rate now, Noelle? Is it about $30 a year?
I don't think it was quite that much, but maybe.
Between 24 and 30, I think, right? It's in there. So
there's a couple of different options though. There's free, and then I think there's two other options. Like you don't have to go
with the free one. So you don't have you wouldn't be able to do what Noelle was just talking about, where you create a key underneath for your pattern. You wouldn't be able to do that on the free version, right? You would just have to use the pattern as it's written, which unless you're doing a heavily charted pattern, that's probably more than fine, right? Like if you're, doing a sock pattern or just a sweater that doesn't have a chart in it, maybe it's just got stitches and it's giving you instructions. You're probably more than fine with the free version. But then if you want to pay, then you have that opportunity. And the other thing that you can do is with Knit Companion is, so like, let's say that you have a book, because we all have books that we like to knit out of, and you can actually take a photo of that and you can drop that right into Knit Companion and turn it into a pattern, right? Into a chart. You can create the chart out of it. So I find that really handy too.
Yeah. I just watched a tutorial that was on Very Pink Knits, and she showed how you could use your Knit Companion if you have it on an iOS device. And there's you can go, how there's a lot of free patterns on Knitty.
Yes.
Okay. So you can actually go to your pattern on Knitty. You go up to the top and you hit your upload button to where it says print. And when you get it into print, you just expand it. And up at the top, it'll say copy to Knit Companion. And all you got to do is click it and put that pattern
really
into Knit Companion.
Really handy.
So plus with the paid version, if you've got, and in fact, I just did it on my Marie Wallen. If you've got a chart that the chart is in like 3 or 4 different pieces, you can actually put that all together in one chart. So you don't have. Yeah. And another thing that you can do is you can actually pick symbols and color them so that every little square in that symbol will be a certain color. So if you're having trouble differentiating just like the symbols themselves, you can actually color it as well. Plus, you've always got the ability to make it larger or make it smaller. So if you need one part enlarged just while you're looking at it, like I
for advancing the row, like I really like that too, because you can, and it even has a spoken feature.
Yes.
Not a spoken feature, but a microphone feature where you can say next row, and it will hop up the rows for you as well. And so
it's also got the ability to write on it, just like you would write on a regular pattern.
Yes.
So you can do it either with your finger. I've got like the iPen. You can just like write it and put notes. So if you change anything or make differences, you can write that right down on the pattern. So every time you come back to look at it, it's there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's so many good features. We could go on.
Yeah.
This is not a paid sponsorship either.
No.
We both really like it. But I would definitely say try to
try the free one first, because that's what I did.
One.
Yep.
And then if you see value in it, then you can move up to the paid one. So oh, hi, Anne. Finally remembered to get on here while you two are live. Yay. Welcome.
Yes, Linda says she loves that you can make it larger. And that's especially useful if the symbols are close together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If they look similar, it's nice to be able to. And Kathy was saying about she doesn't like it when your sample picture, for instance. I know it's your brain does not want to
go backwards.
Not want to acknowledge that. It doesn't.
No.
So that was one really nice thing that Natalie does in her patterns. So Natalie is Remembrance Pottery, and she does a lot of sock knitting patterns, and they're all color work, but she always gives you both versions, light on dark and dark on light. So if you're changing up what the background is, you can go to the right chart so it's not so confusing to your brain. Yeah. So
Peggy says that she finds Knit Companion works better with an Apple device than an Android. I have heard that too, Peggy.
Yes.
So I'm an Apple.
And I've only ever used it. Like I use it mostly on my iPad. So
yeah, I like the size. I would find it probably like I'll use my phone as an emergency, but that's another thing too. So it won't sync across platforms. So like if you have it on your iPad and you're using your iPad and then you pull the same pattern up on your phone, like it won't show you where you left off on your iPad. It doesn't sync across your devices. They're each is independent. But
no, but I found
go ahead.
I said what I found that you can do though is you can airdrop it. You can airdrop that project, pick it up by your other device so that if you are going somewhere, you've got the latest in like I can airdrop it from my iPad to my iPhone.
Oh, I've never even thought about doing that.
Yep.
Oh, you are an IT girl. See?
So anyway.
Luana says she needs a class. Very Pink Knits. She has
she does.
Several. She has like a series of tutorials.
And they're nice because she kind of breaks them down. So it's not a whole big chunk of information at once. So. Oh, Anne still uses paper. I just found it when I use paper, I'm like, where did I put it? Or else I would forget to mark something down, or I don't know. I think part of that came with when the kids were around too, and you never knew where the paper was going to end up. So,
well, I think Julia's still on here. She has some really interesting techniques. I secretly stalk her when she's doing projects. She keeps a book, and boy, she goes, and like she's got a series of check marks when she goes across her rows. Like I don't know what her system is, but every time I look at it, I thought, oh, she's such an organized knitter. I'm always really impressed with how she does that. And sometimes she'll share pictures like of her project on the go, right? And like where she is at different places. And she's got pictures of her notes in there. And I'm always like enlarging it on Instagram so I can see her notes. So I like secretly project stalk her. Oh, Valerie says due to lockdown, she has no way to print. It's one more reason. You see, Knit Companion, you don't have to print it out.
No. Yeah. And like you said, you could write on it and
Yeah, I do that. Yeah. I keep just one of those little pens that I can write on.
Yep.
And I can make notes, say if I needed to do extra rows here or, decrease a few extra stitches or something. So it's really handy.
You can go through and you can take the highlighter one and you can kind of go through a pattern and you can highlight all the ones that pertain to your size. Mm-hmm. So then when you're coming to it, it's already highlighted. So you know the number that you're looking for. I mean, you can do that with paper too, like obviously, but it's nice that you can do it in Knit Companion as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, Julia said she just started her second book.
Oh yeah, so you'd have the book to go back and look at too. That's that's fun too.
Yep.
It's a diary of the project she's done, and she can keep notes from podcasts. I do have a podcast notebook. I keep it beside the sewing machine because that's usually when I'm watching the podcasts, and I'm like, oh, I jot that pattern down, and jot that pattern down, and then I go back later.
I watch the podcast on my TV, right?
As you're knitting.
With my iPad in front of me while I'm knitting, and then if something comes up, a pattern or something, I'll go and I'll look at it or favorite it or do it whatever right then, so that I don't forget. Because if you don't do it then, you will forget. So.
Oh, hello, Jose. She just finished eating dinner.
Lobster supper.
Oh boy.
Lucky.
Lucky girl. Michelle uses a large notebook too. It's interesting, Yeah,
I mean, it's just whatever you're comfortable with, right? Whatever, everything doesn't work for everybody. So
no, and it's fun how
makes it
no two people knit the same way. No. And clearly no two people work their way through a project the same. We all have our little tricks and trades, and it's fun. It's fun to share all of this, right?
Yep.
We should talk about quickly. We're about an hour and 11 now.
Yep.
So we should quickly talk about our make along that's wrapping up in, what's today? Today is the 18th. Okay. So we've got about 12 days.
A little less than 2 weeks. Yeah.
A little less than 2 weeks left in the Rising Stars Cal. And so that's in our Ravelry group, which is growing, by the way. Thank you. If you're a new joiner, it's growing and we're happy to see lots of activity in there. And so the Rising Stars was a pattern that you're making that has less than 30 makes on its project page. And there's been lots of great patterns in there too. Lots of great makes. So we've been enjoying watching that. And so we're planning to film our podcast tomorrow. We would have filmed it last night, but that was on me too. I am late to getting things done. I did some sewing this weekend though. I didn't sew any bags, but I did sew a dress. And it's been a long time since I made a dress. So I'm going to talk about that on the podcast too. And Noelle has, probably a trunk load of things to show.
No, I have a few. We'll see.
Few. So we're going to film that. So that should be up this weekend for you. So hope that you'll enjoy that.
And we're also going to we'll talk about tomorrow too and give you more details about the make along that will start after the Rising Stars make along.
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm glad you brought that up because we wanted to talk a little bit about that anyway. So it's called
Shift Happens.
Shift Happens. And it's because we've so enjoyed our night shift and the shift cowl and our shifty hats.
Yep.
We've enjoyed it so much. And, but mostly the shawl, that night shift shawl is both of us. That's our favorite shawl. So, and we've had so many people asking us about it and how we use the yarn. So we use the Noro Akari. I took 2 skeins to make that shawl. So we thought it would be fun starting June. So we'll do that for 2 months too. And we're going to call it Shift Happens.
I thought we'd do it for June, July, and August. Then by the end of August, everybody should have their night shift shawl to wear for the fall.
Okay.
Just because it's summer, just so that
flexible.
Well, I just thought, it gives people, you may not be knitted, you may not want to knit with something that heavy in the summer. So you might only pick it up here and there, but it gives you time to.
Okay. I'm down with that. That sounds good. So we're going to run that one for 3 months, and you can make any shifty thing you like, and you can make it out of any yarn you like.
Shifty thing you like.
Any shifty thing you like. Yes. But I was actually even thinking, I've been debating again about the shifty sweater.
I know do the shifty sweater.
but I kind of like it. And Tracy did one that I really liked, and she used hand spun. So
mine will probably end up with no sleeves, but it'll be on the island.
The island of lost sleeves.
That's right.
So,
anyway, yeah. So we'll talk more about that in the podcast. But yeah, but we thought, just so you know, so if you will have to get yarn together, or you've got a little time to think about what you want to do and what you want to make it in. So.
Yep. All things shifty.
Yep.
Shifty.
Oh, Helene wants to know if we're still in lockdown. Yep.
We got locked down for another 2 weeks. We were supposed to be cut loose, but
no, but we're back in lockdown.
We're back. Well, we're still
in lockdown. Yeah.
We're still in lockdown. So now they're saying until June 2nd.
Yep.
So I don't know. We may
numbers are going down, so hopefully. And vaccinations are boosting up. In fact, they just opened it up. Did you realize that? They opened it up to, in our area, I don't know if it's all of Ontario, but 12 and up.
Yes. Yeah, it's all ages
Ontario.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's that. So hopefully there's hopefully a light at the end of this tunnel, and then we'll be able to go back to doing just a few things that are normal for us. And we'll just leave it at that.
Yep. Yep.
So, okay. Oh, Kathy has had her yarn in a bag for months. So now she can knit her shifty shawl.
There you go. And Valerie's going to try for the shifty sweater. And I know I talked to my daughter and daughter-in-law. They've already ordered their yarn for the night shift shawl.
Have they really? Are they using the Noro?
Yes. Rachel picked without knowing what my second colors were. She picked the exact colors that I have.
Well, I have yarn for 2. So I'm going to knit.
I think one of yours is at least one of the balls is the same as the one in mine. That corally color one.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
And Luana's got her night shift shawl pattern. Deb wants to knit the shifty sweater.
Yay. It's going to be nice to see. And you know what? Like that pattern, like that shift pattern, the basic pattern itself, when you look at it, it looks so much more complex than it actually is to knit it.
It's so easy.
It's so easy. Yeah.
And it's so fun. It's just fun. And it'll be really interesting to see, like, if other people are choosing the Noro Akari, and we hope some of you will, but if you're using the Noro Akari, hopefully we get some people that actually have the same colors, because then it'll be so interesting to see how your shawls won't look alike. Even if you have 2 of the same colors, they will still look different than one another. So that's going to be exciting to see too.
Yep.
Yeah. Tracy has to get spinning. She's going to make a sweater. Oh, Sarah wants to know before we head out, where did we get the Akari? A few places, Sarah. We shopped around Ontario for it. Where did we most recently get it?
The last one that I got for us when I ordered them together, when Lynn was getting some too, was from Needle Emporium.
Okay. And
they actually, I just looked at their site lately. They actually have some color combos put together already at Needle Emporium.
Where Aberdeen's wool? That's where I got some of mine. And I think originally we got it from
Wool and Silk in Shelburne. But if you just Google like Noro Akari, Canada, or wherever you are, like, I'm sure it should come up with some places that you can get it at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep.
So that's that. Noelle will put underneath this where you can find us.
Yep. And on Instagram and Ravelry, and
keep posting in the in our KnitChat group or the hashtag on Instagram so that we can see what you're working on, or throw us a picture in Ravelry so that we can see. Aberdeen's Wool Company is where Rachel and I think I got mine from there too, or my second batch was from there, I think. And then
and then the third batch.
And then the third batch. Just search it. You'll find it. It's not hard to find. I think it's $45-ish a stitch.
Yeah,
it's a big
it depends where you get it from. I think Needle Emporium, the last time I looked on their site, I think it was $50 a ball, but if you bought the kit, it was $90. So you got them for $45 each.
And then if you're watching us from the States, I think it's available. Is it Love Knitting? I think they have it in the States.
Okay.
So if you could get it there. So it's available. And if you don't have to use that, you can use any yarn. Like there's so many combinations.
That's
that
right.
Was just one that we really liked.
Yep. Because I know some of the Shopple wool, like the ones that have those crazy colors, and they've got some heavier weights. Like I think people have done it with that. You could even do it like with solid colors, right? Just mix them up, because the original pattern calls for 6 different colors. I think it's Spin Cycle Dream State. It's at least 6 different colors. So you don't have to just do 2 balls, but we just found it was so easy with the 2 balls, and there was enough color change throughout them that you get nice variegation with just that. And then you don't even have to worry about switching yarns.
You know what else would be really fun is if you use 2, you could even use this with the same color. If you had 2 gradient balls, and then you flipped the gradient and you worked, like one from the outside, one from the inside, and then you'd get like a crossover of colors. Like there's endless choices, but it's,
if you go and look at the shift shawl, and you can go in and actually look under specific yarns and see what it looks like and what people have done with it.
Mm-hmm.
Get some ideas that way. So yeah, Sarah, it's worsted weight.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, this has been a blast.
Yeah.
No story. Apologies again for the technical difficulties. They just don't seem to go away.
The address of the township of Courtright to write to.
It's distressing. Okay.
But you know what? Like realistically, so many people now are using the internet so much more that it's not unusual that your internet goes down once in a while.
Yeah. But
and there's nothing that you can do.
It goes down on a Tuesday night.
I know. But at least it was only short. And
yes. So thanks for waiting around for us.
That's right.
I had so much fun visiting with everybody tonight. And thank you for all the warm wishes on the Grandbaby. And so we will see you next Tuesday night. Same place.
Hopefully 10 minutes earlier.
Noelle's family room.
That's right.
Yeah. So have a wonderful week and a nice long weekend. If you're in Canada, we have a long weekend.
Yeah. And if you're here in Ontario or near where we are, the weather is absolutely gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. So, okay.
Okay. Take care, everyone. And we will talk to you next week.
Okay. Happy making.
Bye. Yep. Bye-bye.